I'm Mark Keefe, Editor-in-Chief of American Rifleman. Now, when the E-Media team asked me to do the first gun of the week, I thought of the gun that I carry every day, and that's the Smith Wesson Model 340. This is a J-frame revolver, meaning that's the size of the frame. There's an I-frame, but it's a small gun, very collectible. You don't see them very often. But this is the workhorse of Smith & Wesson's concealed carry revolvers. The J-frame was introduced in 1950 with the Chief Special, but that was a gun with an external hammer. In 1953, Smith & Wesson came out with the Centennial in honor of 100 years of the company. That gun had an internal hammer. It was very similar in configuration to the J-frame that I'm holding right here. This gun does have a hammer, but it's completely concealed, and that's so that you can keep the gun concealed beneath your clothing and it won't snag on anything when you go to draw it. Now, the basics on the 340 M&P are pretty simple. It's a 5-shot double-action only revolver. This gun can chamber either .357 Magnum or .38 Special, and I generally carry .38 Special plus Ps unless I'm heading to the backcountry. This is a double-action only revolver, so that once the unloaded gun, as we see here, is closed up, it's simply one long pull of the trigger, both rotates the cylinder, cocks the hammer, and then releases it to fire. This little gun has a 1 7/8 inch barrel, and it actually has very good sights. You don't have a lot of sight radius on a gun this size, but it's got an XS sight system, big dot. It's got tritium in it from Trijicon, so you can actually see it in low light conditions. Now, the back notch is simply a groove, but it's a U-shaped groove cut out that corresponds very well to that big dot in the front. This is a front sight. Even with my eyes, I can actually see it. This little gun only weighs 13.3 ounces. The cylinder, even though it's blackened here, is actually of stainless steel. But the frame is an alloy of scandium and aluminum, and that's what gives you the light weight of this gun. Now, with that scandium frame, you actually need a steel insert right here at the cylinder gap above on the frame. And what that does is it protects the frame itself from the gas and, of course, perhaps some jacket material that can be split off from the cylinder gap. Now, this is my personal gun, and it came with a set of black plastic stocks. Nothing wrong with the stocks that come with it from Smith & Wesson, but I prefer laser grips. So on this gun, I have a set of Crimson Trace laser grips. Easy activation. Take a strong grip on the gun, and as long as you're holding on to the gun with a firm grip, that laser is going to be on. I like the safety of this gun because the hammer is not cocked until you draw the trigger back and manually cock it. There are a lot of guns that have preloaded strikers and that sort of thing that are perfectly safe, but for a gun that I carry usually in a strong side holster, in this case a paddle unit from Galco, or depending on what I'm wearing, sometimes just in my pocket in a pocket holster, I like the safety of this gun. When I pull it out, I know it's loaded, I can check it, and also all I have to do is line up the sights and put it on target. People who know me know that I'm kind of an old school guy, but this revolver, as old school as it is, 1953 they had the basics worked out. It uses modern materials and it makes for a very carryable gun. It's a very safe gun to carry, and it's the one I have with me just about every day. There'll be more guns of the week. Be sure to stay here on AmericanRifleman.org.